Railroading technique.
The original route was so steep, James Hill had to cross it on switchbacks.
Switchback tracks made climbing the steep grades of the Cascades possible. They did it by reducing them into more manageable and gradual inclines. The train ascends along a first set of tracks, past a junction or switch, before going headlong into a dead-end track. A thrown switch directs the train up a more elevated set of tracks. The train zigzags up the mountain, thereby conquering the steep grades.
The train would come through here, and then it would pull into a dead-end track down there. It was like this. Pull into the dead-end track, there's a switch right here. So the whole train would pull in, then back up through the switch, and change its elevation. Simple as that.
But the switchbacks lengthened the route, which meant the railroad had even more track to clear every time it snowed. The results weren't pretty.
During construction, this place was nicknamed Death Mountain.
With snow falling in feet rather than...
After the switchback, this was the easy way. All right, I made it. This is the eastern portal of the old Cascade Tunnel. Wow, look at that thing.
The original Cascade Tunnel is a feat of early 20th century engineering. But the builders forgot to consult the real keeper of the Cascades, Mother Nature. The result was the tunnel that should have never been built. In February 1910, 2 trains were stranded just west of the tunnel in Wellington, Washington. For 6 days, a blizzard pounded the mountain. Shortly after midnight on March 1st, a lightning storm lit up the sky. A rumble shook the mountain. And within seconds, an avalanche of snow, trees, and rocks came crashing down the mountain, wiping both trains off the tracks. They eventually came to a halt 1,000 feet down into the canyon below. 96 people died in the Wellington disaster. It is still the most lethal avalanche in the history of the United States. The Wellington disaster proved that the current tunnel was still not the answer to getting safely over the Cascade Mountains. So the Great Northern Railway tried a third and final option, another brave engineering gamble.
On the other side of these mountains is Puget Sound in Seattle, but to get there, we have to go through the longest tunnel in the United States.
I've jumped off Amtrak's Empire Builder and am now standing in the snowiest place in America, the Cascade Mountains.
I'm standing here at the portal of the longest tunnel in the United States. It's the only direct route for trains from the east coming into Seattle.
In 1926, 16 years after the Wellington disaster, the Great Northern Railway started building a new 8-mile-long Cascade Tunnel. The new tunnel's location was 500 feet lower than the old one. When they started the project, building an 8-mile tunnel in 3 years was thought to be impossible. It took 1,700 workers and nearly 5 million pounds of dynamite to blast the way through the mountain. But they did it, and in just 3 years, the tunnel was completed on schedule. The tunnel itself is 20 feet 10 inches high and 16 feet wide. There's only one single track through the tunnel, so east and westbound trains take turns going through it. Today, the hardest job is keeping the 90-year-old tunnel in operation.
In a tunnel this long, airflow is a major concern. If the air wasn't cleaned out, the exhaust would be toxic to the people on the trains and the engines would stall. We just passed through the longest tunnel in America, and that was a smooth ride.